What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for the AEW on TNT review, the fallout from Double or Nothing this past Saturday night as we go on our way to Fyter Fest whenever that is going to be. It has been confirmed that it's going to happen sometime this summer. We just don't know when yet and where. Tonight, we had a Battle Royal. The winner will face Cody next week for the TNT Championship, and I do need to update this graphic here. I will do that next week. I'm pretty sure Cody holding the title wasn't done yet, so we'll get on that later, next week. But Jon Moxley on commentary for Matt Brown Cage's debut for his match tonight. Cheetah in action. Also, Britt Baker will update us on what her injury is, and so much more. We started with Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks versus Private Party and Joey Janela. Matt Hardy was in the back with the rest of his teammates from the Stadium Stampede, and he's still broken. Matt Hardy's like, I want these to be documented. He's like, he was gonna start declaring something, but the Hangman Page and Kenny Omega leave, and the Bucks are like, hey, can we get a different version of you? So Matt Hardy leaves. The broken Matt Hardy leaves. In comes Matt Hardy from the Attitude Era. Then they're like, can we get a different version of Matt Hardy from that? Then he leaves again, comes back wearing the old Matt Hardy, looks like he has a key on the side of his tights, wearing a headband, and it's like, up guys, you want to be a simple spot money's the net? Oh, hell yeah, we do. And that is our first match. This was a good match. Unfortunately, towards the end of this match, Private Party go for a double tope con hilo to the outside. I'll get to some of the other things of the match. And Mark Quinn landed badly. And hopefully it's not that bad of an injury, but he couldn't put pressure on his knee. He couldn't walk or anything. So Mark Quinn might be in the next list of AEW stars being injured. It sucks because AEW, from the time we started last year up until last week, very few injuries, if any at all. I know Britt Baker's had a concussion, broke her nose, but we never really heard about injuries from AEW stars, for the simple fact is they don't have to. AEW stars between last year and this year weren't on tours every single day, 300 days a year. So less chance of injury. But injuries happen. Britt Baker went down, we'll be talking about that later. Phoenix is out for a little bit with that bad bump that he took last week. And now there's a possibility that Mark Quinn could be out too. That absolutely sucks. Now, this was a hell of a flurry in this match as we were going on. Very different version of Matt Hardy, old school for sure, hell of a flurry. Matt and Nick, Whisper in the Wind by Matt Hardy and Nick Jackson. I believe it was Nick Jackson. During the opening part of this match, Matt Jackson, isn't it? Hold on. Nick Jackson is on the outside. He super kicks the Blade. The Butcher then starts attacking him, pulls him over. Him and the Butcher and the Blade just start beating on the Young Buck in the ring. Then his brother comes out, dives over, beats the hell out of the Butcher and Blade, brings his brother back over. They go back inside. That will come into play towards the end of the match. We get some old school Hardy offense late in this match. Janela gets a double drop kick to both Bucks. We have an injury to Mark Quinn, as I mentioned. More bang for your buck. 1, 2, 3. Matt Hardy gets the pin. We get the win, and that is that. Now, this was a pretty decent match, but this match is going to be overshadowed with what happened after. But before we get to what happened later after, immediately after the match was over, Matt Hardy, the saint that he is, the guy who has just got respect for these two young guys, immediately leaves the ring, goes check on Mark Quinn, and picks him up to help get him to the back, gets him onto the stage. Then Isaiah Cassidy comes over, and Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy with the referee get Mark Quinn to the back. Hopefully, this guy is not going to be badly injured. The flipping dives, the flip dive can happen. It sucks that an injury happened to him. Hopefully, I'm hoping because the fact of what happened afterwards, this was all a shoot. I mean, this wasn't a shoot. This was all part of the storyline. He was supposed to be quote-unquote injured just to get them out of there. So what happens next can happen without them getting involved. So Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, and the referee are out of the picture. In come the Butcher and the Blade. And they are beating down on Matt and Nick Jackson. They're beating the brakes off these guys. They just went through a 10-minute grueling match against 3 really great talents. And then all of a sudden we see another camera angle, and in comes a pickup truck, a black pickup truck. Out come Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood. The FTR, the former Revival, have made it to AEW. They come in, they get into the ring. The Butcher and Blade is like, oh, you guys, we know the beef between you guys, between the Young Bucks and FTR. So we're gonna give it to you. So Cash and Dax, which I'm gonna call them Cash and Dax. I'm not gonna give them the whole names because I like Cash and Dax. But they go over. They look like they're gonna beat up the Young Bucks. Evil FTR. All of a sudden, they turn around and they go beat up on the Butcher and the Blade. Get them out of the ring. Hit a spike pile driver on the Blade. They're out of the ring for a minute. They get the Young Bucks up. The Young Bucks end up super kicking the Butcher into a Shadow Machine, which they did not call it the Shadow Machine, so I don't know what they're going to call their finisher. But they use the elevated code breaker like they used in WWE, the Shadow Machine, without being called that. So they stare down with the Young Bucks as the Young Bucks tease they might super kick them. Bucks want a handshake, Dax and Cash leave, and that is that. So we have ourselves an interesting wrinkle into the tag team division. The tag team division just got stronger, and I'm excited to see what the FTR can do. They are here in AEW, they belong in AEW. Let's see what happens, because I think things are going to get so much better in AEW. Moxley comes out for commentary. He is here to watch the match with Brian Cage. He will meet at Fyter Fest. Cage immediately attacks his opponent, which is Lee Johnson, launching him across the ring. Cage hits a big release suplex on Johnson while Taz laughs it up. Cage with the powerbomb followed by a buckle bomb, hits the Joe Claw cover, and that is it. So Brian Cage comes in, kills Lee Johnson, which Lee Johnson is making, I don't know how much, I don't know if they do this $500 or $1,000 or whatever. I don't know how much they make to come in and get killed. But Lee Johnson's got to be making some kind of cash to take this kind of beating. After the match, Taz gets on the mic and talks to Moxley and says he wants Moxley to bring all of his grit and heart to Fyter Fest because Cage is going to rip his heart out. Beat Cage if you can. Survive if Cage lets you. So we have Britt Baker, which I can't wait for Jon Moxley and Brian Cage. Tony Khan did say that on the scrum that was originally supposed to be their London debut was going to be Fyter Fest this year. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic fear-mongering bullshit we're going through right now, that's not going to happen. Obviously, they want to try and hold this off as long as they can until we have an actual, whether it's 20 fans, 100 fans, or even a full thing of fans, they want to have fans for Brian Cage versus Jon Moxley. Then we have Britt Baker come out. She's in a wheelchair with Rebel pushing her. Baker with Tony Schiavone wants to give another rule of being a role model. Rule number 3, don't hurt the role model. She says her injury was a conspiracy. Last week's injury came from a 3-on-1 calculated attack. Without her, there is no women's division. She goes over why each person is a conspirator. Statlander being an alien is a crock of shit. Cheetah already broke her nose and used as a weapon. Nyla Rose can have easily guided herself away from her fragile knee as she's flown in the air multiple times. Baker then has a boys brought out, tying all of those included in what happened to her. She believes Aubrey Edwards is the brains behind it all. Says every time she's injured, Aubrey was there. Baker says she'll be back at All Out on September 5th. So Britt Baker is gone till September 5th. All you Britt Baker fans out there, I'm sure you're going to be sad and disheartening. Maybe, her promo skills are getting better, and it's gonna suck that, you can't get much practice on 1 day a week. You can't get much better on 1 day a week, but you can't get better when you're not working at all. So Britt Baker is gonna be on the shelf for the next 4 months, and I never want to see anybody get injured, but it happens. Injuries happen. Nice to see her tied in, doing the whole Chris Jericho conspiracy type thing that she's doing now. I'm sure she's getting, Chris Jericho's helping her with this whole conspiracy thing, because if you remember in WCW, he used to say that the booking of his or whatever was, there was conspiracy going on against him in WCW. Backstage, speaking of Chris Jericho, he and the Inner Circle are with Alex Marvez. He says Pep Rally will be the best thing ever as he gloats about it. Orange Cassidy strolls by in the background, and Jericho's like, did he just do that? Smiles, and that is that. We go on to Hikaru Shida versus Christie James. I thought it was James, but her tight says Jaynes. Good match here, and now I'm gonna have to preference this. A couple weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago, Kenny Omega was in the ring with a no-name talent. I can't remember what the guy's name is. That's what I'm thinking. And Kenny Omega let this guy go the distance with him. Had him go out there. Instead of squashing him like many others would, he went out there and had a 10-15 minute match with this guy, letting this guy get a lot of offense in and struggling to get the win. Shida, the women's champion, did the exact same thing here with Christie James. She came out here, she had a hell of a match with Christie James. She didn't kill her in 2 minutes because she's the AEW Women's Champion. People are going to sit there and say, oh, this makes the AEW Women's Champion look like shit. She can't even put away a no-name talent in 2 seconds. She's not. People, calm the fuck down. Christie James, this isn't WWE where you just have a champion go out there and squash somebody because you can. They want to give these people a chance to show themselves to you. So if they go out there and they have a hell of a match with Christie James has a hell of a match with Hikaru Shida, she could possibly be hired by them, signed by AEW, and becomes a member of the women's roster. Just like that match that Kenny Omega had a couple weeks ago where everyone was so pissed off because he gave this guy a lot more than they thought he should have. Calm the fuck down, people. It's not that big of a fucking deal. She went out there. Shida had a good match with Christie James. Christie James got to show you what she can do. If AEW wants to put ink to pen to paper and give this woman a contract down the line, then this was her tryout match for them. Calm down, people. Well, Shida and her were like fighting each other. Big knee strike in the corner. Running knee strike on the apron. Holy Shida chant, which the people were chanting. I don't know where the Holy Shida chant came from. Shida put in the camel clutch, but she lets it go instead of holding it on, even though James was nowhere near the ropes. Suplex by Shida. She gets a 2 count. Insecurity by James to Shida on the top rope as Shida was up top. James goes to this, I don't know what she was trying to do, but she ends up going to a sunset flip. And then he kicks the head for a 2 count. Lion Salt was missed. A big forearm, then a running knee. 2 for Shida. Shida is not happy. Picks her up, hits the Falcon Arrow. 1, 2, 3. Hikaru Shida is your winner. Again, this is just like that match Kenny Omega had a couple weeks ago, where everybody, there were people just getting all pissed off that this didn't make Kenny Omega look good because he had to struggle against a no-name. It happens. It's called getting these guys some exposure. So one, when this pandemic shit's over, they get booked if they're not going to be hired by AEW. And 2, there's a possibility they get hired by AEW. By the way, AEW signed Danny Jordan. She's actually pretty good. Then we have Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out to talk with Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone working that microphone well tonight. Coming out with the still incomplete AEW TNT Championship. I want to know what that's going to look like. There was a photo of the TNT Championship floating around that was quote-unquote gold-plated. It looked like it was a gold-plated version of it. It was definitely 100% fan-made. You can tell if you look at this picture of the AEW TNT Championship and you see the center plate. The dead giveaway that this is fan-made is in the center, right above the TNT logo, is the crown that you will find, and I believe the globe too, that you will find on the big gold belt from the WCW and WWE early 2000s, mid-2000s to early 2010s. The big gold belt, you have this globe and then a crown in the middle. That's what that person used to make it. It made the TNT Championship look a little bit better. I don't care how complete it is. I just don't like the design overall. I think even if it gets completed, it's still not going to be something that I care about. He just gives you this great promo. I'm not going to do it any justice, but he says that he wants to give us an open challenge every week. Not this week because they already had this thing booked up and down. Next week, of course, he'll be going up against the winner of the Battle Royal. But from after that, he's going to be standing here every single week doing what he can to give us an open challenge. I am skeptical of an open challenge. Open challenges was something that John Cena came up with after WrestleMania 31 when he beat Rusev for the U.S. Championship. And from there until SummerSlam, he had a match every single week against talents who don't get a chance to show you what they can do. Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Neville, I think, had one at one time too, so on and so forth. It was great television. It was the only thing on fucking Monday Night Raw that was good in 2015. But yes, the open challenges were good. And then he lost it. He got it back. We had a couple more open challenges to Hell in a Cell. And then when somebody else would get the U.S. title or get the Intercontinental title, they wanted to do an open challenge. And WWE made it a running fucking joke. Why should we fucking care about an open challenge? I know it's AEW, I know it's not WWE, but I'm still skeptical of the open challenge. Now, if Cody goes out there and gives you barn burner after barn burner after barn burner, it's going to be fucking fantastic. But just with anything else, there's going to be a couple matches that just don't hit their mark. Can't wait to see next week Cody versus the Battle Royal winner. Jimmy Havoc versus Kip Sabian versus SCU, number one contender for the AEW Tag Team titles. And you're wondering, how is this a number one contenders match for the AEW Tag Team titles when we just had a number one contenders match at Double or Nothing? Simple. This is a number one contenders match to next week. The winner of Double or Nothing, which was the Best Friends, is getting their match. Their match is still set. It's going to happen at Fyter Fest. So we have two matches for Fyter Fest. Cage versus Moxley and SCU, not SCU, the Best Friends versus the winner of the Tag Team title match next week. Which will probably be Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, but I could be totally wrong. Now, we have Sabian and Havoc starting early by attacking SCU before the bell rings. After the bell rings, the SCU gains control. Havoc and Sabian get control and roll up 2 count. Counterbolt into the eye poke, which is a funny maneuver, gets a 2 count. Sabian gets a 1 on a roll up. Hell of a match here. These 4 guys are working their asses off. Assisted swinging DDT by SCU for a 2. Senton is missed. Sabian hits Havoc. SCU later is stopped as Ford grabs Kazarian's leg, and we get ourselves the Michinoku driver combo for the 3. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian will be getting a title shot next week, which is fine. I don't think SCU should be going for the tag team titles anytime soon. They have the tag team titles from the time they won them last year to now, to a couple months till February. So they have themselves a nice title run. They don't need to be back in the tag team title picture. It's going to be Jimmy Havoc and Sabian next week. I don't see them winning the tag team titles because I think that's going to go to the Best Friends. I think the Best Friends will win the titles at Fyter Fest, and Hangman Page is going to turn on Kenny Omega then. I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. We hear from MJF talking about how he heard that, without mentioning his name, he heard how there's going to be a battle royal for a certain championship, but the first-time champion, and how it needs to have good challenges, and you bet your ass it's going to be me, and I'm going to have Wardlow in there to make sure I win. Wardlow then says, but, and he says, but what? Yelling at him. Wardlow gets a little pissed off. You can see this pissed look in his face, and then just like, ha ha ha, I'm kidding, dude, I'm kidding. I got you, I got you. He walks away. Wardlow gets that little on his face, like it's coming. It's coming. Wardlow's going to turn on him, probably at Fyter Fest. We have our Battle Royal, MJF, Billy Gunn, Orange Cassidy, but before he can come out there, what I told you earlier, Chris Jericho smiled, thought he might have an idea. Proud and Powerful come out and kill Orange Cassidy. What is with everyone wanting to attack Orange Cassidy from behind? I just don't get it. Hold on. Sonny Kiss, Colt Cabana, Jurassic Express, Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, Brandon Cutler, Luther, Wardlow, Christopher Daniels, and Peter Avalon. So Luther was the first one eliminated by Luchasaurus with a chokeslam to the outside. Sonny Kiss gets eliminated by Wardlow, Colt Cabana by Billy Gunn, which only, by the way, Billy Gunn is not Billy Gunn in AEW. He's just Billy, because WWE threw a fucking fit so badly because that was his WWE name. A name that he owns the rights to, but he's following the Cody Rhodes thing, and he's just going to be Billy. Austin is Austin Gunn, but he's going to be Billy. Colt Cabana was eliminated by Billy Gunn while we're at commercial break. Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler in this match. If you've been watching BTE, they've been going at each other because they're losers. They've been losing every single match. They're going after each other over and over. In picture-in-picture, they brawl, they're fighting each other. They try to eliminate each other. They end up on the top rope, crouched on the top rope at the same time. They're fighting each other. Then they end up on the apron. They're trying to eliminate one or the other, and nobody touches them, and they both fall off. So Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon eliminated themselves. Marco's stunt multiple times in this match is trying to eliminate Luchasaurus. And Luchasaurus is looking down and it's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? So, Wardlow fights with Luchasaurus for a bit. Billy Gunn then comes in, fights with Wardlow, and then fights with Luchasaurus. And then Luchasaurus and Billy Gunn are fighting by the ropes. Wardlow and MJF come in and eliminate them. It looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match, handicap beatdown, until you see Orange Cassidy, who was not eliminated, roll into the ring, and he helps cause the elimination of MJF, and then he and Jungle Boy eliminate Wardlow. And then, MJF got eliminated first, yeah, then Wardlow got eliminated. And then we get about 2.5 to 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes of an Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy match. And it looked like we might see Orange Cassidy pick up the win. However, Jungle Boy was one of the best smooth moves that I could think. Orange Cassidy's near the ropes. Jungle Boy runs over, pulls him into a Hurricane Rana over the ropes. But usually you don't see but usually you see when they do that, both men fall to the outside. Jungle Boy, with the greatest hint of skill, grabs the ropes as he puts Orange Cassidy to the outside, holding onto the ropes, because as Excalibur mentioned on TV, if Jungle Boy did not grab the ropes, Orange Cassidy would be going up against Cody next week, because Jungle Boy would have touched, his feet would have touched first. But he holds on, and Jungle Boy is your winner. So Cody Rhodes will be taking on Jungle Boy next week. Should be one hell of a match. Jungle Boy and Cody, that should be great. Also, by the way, Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, did tweet out open challenge with the looking eyes emoji. So maybe he's teasing a match against Cody here soon. We'll have to wait and see. Then we get to the Inner Circle pep rally. We have the cheerleaders on the stage. We have some drummers. We go to picture-in-picture. We come back. Or we go to commercial. We come back. And Vicky Guerrero makes her presence, dressed as a cheerleader. She's doing the introductions for the entire Inner Circle. Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz, Sammy Guevara come out, then Chris Jericho comes out. They have stuff in the ring. They're not happy with what happened at Double or Nothing. They lost the Stadium Stampede. Jericho is not happy with everything that's going on. Guevara's like, hey man, we didn't win, but we participated, so he hands them all trophies, participation trophies, that say King of the Dad jokes. Then Santana comes in with his gift basket and some kind of cheesesteak or something to Ortiz, some knockoff Timberlands to Jake Hager, some Vicks Vapor Rub to Sammy Guevara, and then a picture frame. A framed picture of, I didn't write it down, I don't know why, it just, Mark Anthony, that's right, Mark Anthony, which apparently is Chris Jericho's hero. Jericho gives Sammy Guevara one of those scooters that you put your leg on to wheel when you can't move. I believe Xavier Woods has one of those. Jake Hager gives us a poem about the Inner Circle, his love of the Inner Circle. He wants to run everyone over, or the Elite over with his Lexus. And then he gets really, really dark towards the end of it. They stop him. And then they're all wondering, this is all great, but Jericho, what do you want? What do you want? Sammy Guevara asked. Jericho's like, what do I want? I want Mike Tyson's head on a platter. He hasn't forgot January 11, 2010. I believe it was January 11, 2010. You remember when it was DX, Jericho and Tyson in the ring. Jericho's mouthing off to DX. Tyson's behind him. He's like, I got my boy back here. I can trust him now. Turns around, pow, bumps to the face, which if you look on replay, he did not hit Jericho at all. But Jericho got knocked out by Mike Tyson, and he hasn't forgot it. He wants him on his plate. He wants him on a platter. And Sammy Guevara's like, I couldn't do that, but I got you something better. A cheese plate and a cheese platter and a little bit of the bubbly. Pulls up the thing that has supposed to have the bubbly under it. It's all empty bottles. The cheese platter is got a little bit of pepperonis and cheeses on it. And Jericho's like, where's my bubbly? Where's my bubbly? Cue music. Out comes Mike Tyson and his posse. They get in the middle of the ring. Jericho's not happy about this. He wants Mike Tyson. He'll give Mike Tyson one chance to apologize for what he did 10 years ago. Of course, Tyson said you deserved it, blah, blah, blah. He's just talking, he's jamming and like piddling and everything. And then Jericho, Tyson shoves him, Jericho shoves him back. And then we get a Austin and Tyson type thing where these guys look like they're trying to guard each other. Everyone's holding them back. Jericho's pulled out of the ring. The entire ringside area of men and people in the back are running out to keep these guys apart. Cody's up on the ramp keeping Tyson back. They pull Tyson away. He's coming back. He doesn't want to. He wants him. Jericho is just wanting this guy's head on a platter. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to see much. I don't want to see Mike Tyson do much in AEW. I really don't. But it is what they do. Jericho, Tyson. I don't want to see it. But Mike Tyson does have some words after AEW. This is on their Twitter page. Let me cue this up for you. This is what Mike Tyson had to say after the show.
It's not over. I'm coming back, and Jericho's gonna get his ass kicked. Yes.
So Mike Tyson says Jericho's gonna get his ass kicked. Well, I don't want to see it. I don't care to see it. Just, I think I just don't care about this whole thing. I guess it's a way to get Chris Jericho something, because what else does Chris Jericho have to do right now? Yes, Chris Jericho will be in action next week, along with two title matches. Next week is going to be a stacked card. We have the TNT title and the tag team titles on the line, and Chris Jericho is in action, and I'm sure we'll have other matches named before next week's show. You want to know what makes AEW so much better than Monday Night Raw? We usually know what the main event is before the show starts. Monday Night Raw, we don't know unless it's Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre what the main event is 9 times out of 10 or 9.9 times out of 10 until we are halfway through that show. Absolutely pathetic. This was a pretty good show. Not very hot on the ending. The ending was what it is. There's not much else I can say about it. But it is what AEW is going to do, and we'll see what happens with Mike Tyson. Do I want to see Jericho versus Mike Tyson in a match? No. But it looks like what we're getting. If we get Tyson versus Jericho in a fucking match at Fyter Fest, oh boy, here we go. AEW's doing shit they shouldn't be. I'm excited to see what FTR does. Great to see they finally made their debut. I figured if they were going to make their debut, it would be after the Stadium Stampede, because the Young Bucks still have business to take care of against the Elite. Another question about the Elite versus the Inner Circle. With the Stadium Stampede being done and it's coming to pass, does that mean Blood and Guts is off the table? Does that mean their War Games match is off the table? Because if so, that's fine. Move on, let someone else have that Blood and Guts match. But hey, I don't know. Moxley versus Cage is going to be one brutal match. They might as well make that a no DQ, no disqualification match. Do something, because those two are not going to want to stay in the ring. And Taz as a mouthpiece to Brian Cage is fantastic. He's one of the best talkers to ever come in the professional wrestling game. And so much more to come. I can't wait to see what AEW does. I can't wait to know when Fyter Fest is going to happen. But that is your AEW review. hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Twitter at The France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, find me on Instagram at The France Club, and I'll see you guys Friday for SmackDown with fans of sorts. But until then, oh man, speaking of the fans, JR had a great killer line when they mentioned about the fans, like the crowd, the Bush and the Blade and everyone else being in the stands, and this is what things can happen when Tony Schiavone said something about the problem with there's an offside center shot, there's a downside to them being in the being at ringside, and they came up with the at least they're not behind plexiglass line, which I found hilarious. JR is that's just funny, just another shot at WWE. I mean, the shots don't need to happen, but hey, it happens. WWE does it, but those shots are fine. Doing stupid spoofs just to do stupid spoofs are something we don't need to see. But again, I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good one.